Call meeting to order. All rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can we do a roll call?
Yes. Wondergem.
Here.
Hyber.
Here.
Steffes.
Here.
Gardine. Here. Campbell. Here. Dehan.
Here.
Benak present.
Great. Thank you very much. We have a quorum. Please note, as a courtesy to members of the audience, the Board of Education, please silence your cell phones. The public will only be able to speak during public comment if signed up. Do we have any? No? All right. Fair enough. First item, approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
In one addition.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we have one addition. Our Grandville Early Learning Center is here with a presentation, so we want to add that toward the beginning.
All right. Very good.
In the goldenrod.
It is on the
Yeah,
goldenrod.
yep. Just wanted to
Flag it.
sure, but yeah.
Okay.
All right. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. So presentations. So we will start with the Grandville Education Center. How about that?
All right. And Mrs. Scott and friends are here.
Slideshow? It's really small, I know.
I know.
Here, hang on. Yes. There we go.
There.
Oh. Spoiler alert.
Thank you. To the end. Yes. Bye. Good evening. I'm Julie Scott. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the Early Childhood Director at the Grandville Education Center, and I brought with me not some littles, but some wonderful staff behind me that are going to present to you tonight some inclusion opportunities from our Little Dogs Preschool and from our speech groups, just to kind of give you a scope and sequence of what we've done beyond our 1755 inclusion with GSRP that we brought to you last year. So before they come to you and share those exciting events, I want to kind of go through some trends in early childhood. So looking over the last decade, most early childhood special ed children have come to us more with a SLI, which is a speech and language impairment. They used to be kind of a one-size-fits-all classroom, and then we've kind of stepped away from that model over the last decade. And then they've come to us mostly with higher needs, more medical needs, more behavioral needs, just more needs all around, and more support. So now what we're looking at is starting at age 3, we've seen a higher diagnosis in ASD, eligibility. Students entering these special ed classrooms have more complex needs, social emotionally, medically, things that I previously mentioned. And then this is due because these center-based programs within our community have now closed. So those students are now coming into our programs. At the early childhood level, there are no regional options like there are in the K-12 system. And then, however, there are more options now within the LRE, the least restrictive environment continuum, the 1755, which we presented last year, speech groups, which we'll talk on, and some other exciting events. So with that, I'd like to introduce Heidi Votberg and Teresa Robinson.
Hello, everyone. I'm Miss Heidi, really. That's what people call me. Okay, and so let's see. I am not going to know how to go to the next slide, so.
Correct.
All right, let's see here.
Just a few little arrows.
All right. Go ahead, Teresa.
And I'm Miss Teresa, and I am the early childhood special education classroom teacher, one of them. And so I know that you learned last year about our 4-year-old program. We do inclusion with the GSRP classrooms. Our students who have IEPs have that inclusion opportunity to be in that. However, when looking at our 3-year-olds, there are no formal inclusion programs for our 3-year-olds. as well as some of our 4-year-olds who still might need a half-day program, so they stay in that early childhood special education classroom. So we're lucky enough to start some inclusion opportunities within the Little Dogs preschool.
Oh, yes, I do want to. So we wanted to look at what steps how we could pair together with that. So Teresa and I did some brainstorming, and we wanted to see how we could fit those kids' needs that were ready for a little bit more. So we start on the playground. We'll go out there with them and start some of those times, the kids getting used to me, playing out there with them, visiting, those kinds of things, just playing together, my students with Teresa's students. And then we might look at the classroom opportunity, which kids are ready for some time to push into my classroom. And then we'll set up some time, group time, small, maybe 30 minutes coming in. Do they need it with an aide? Are they ready for a time where they can just come and play by themselves or with an aide? What is appropriate for each individual child? And we just look at what's going to be for each individual child. Then we'll look at special events when they can come and join us for special times, longer times. And each child is going to be different, but it has worked out so beautifully this year. And we have 2 kids specifically that have come and worked up to 2 days a week for about an hour and a half each time. We have communicated back and forth with parents. I've sent notes back, and it has just been such a blessing for Teresa's kids, my kids. I'll sit down with my kids and say, hey, we're going to work with the other preschool class. Some of these kids really don't know how to do preschool yet, so our kids are, we're going to help them learn. Peer groups, it's just been a really amazing thing. And kind of special events, which this is with a different group in our building, but also my group has paired up with Pathways a little bit, and Adam knows about that a little bit, and so that's kind of also like an inclusion, and we've just done a couple special events with that, and that has also been an awesome thing this year as well. So it's been really awesome.
And then just as we look at those inclusion opportunities, there's so many benefits to our families as well as both groups of students. Our early childhood special education students being able to have that relationship with their gen ed peers and have those opportunities for relationship building and peer modeling. Some of our kiddos, they love watching the other friends and how you play and how you initiate those interactions with each other. And so it's exciting to see those friendships build between our students and some of Heidi's friends. There's one friend in particular that when they come out, they'll all start yelling his name, and my sweet little friend will come running to the fence and super excited to see all of his friends. So it's really fun to see how they build relationships and then strengthen social development, so they're able to have empathy and realize that there's differences, and that's exciting and we can celebrate those. So those are some of the benefits of our amazing inclusion opportunities with Little Dogs.
Yeah, it's been an awesome year for that. And each year looks different just according to what our enrollment is, what the kids' needs are going to be, but it's just been a great thing for the piece where 1755 doesn't fit for us with the 2.5 hours, but Teresa and I can work together to find ways that it can work for our program, just being half day. So it's been amazing. So, yeah. All right, on to our speech ladies.
Hello everyone, I am Stacey Kotlars. I'm one of our speech language pathologists at the Early Childhood Center.
And I'm Lisa Traeger. I'm our other speech therapist at the Early Learning Center.
So over the last few years, we've had a shift in service delivery, and so we've really thought about, how can we service these students when maybe they need to work on a few other areas, work on building in different skill areas. So back, say, a few years ago, most of the itinerant speech students, so our walk-in speech students, were individual sessions for 30 minutes, one time a week. And now we have shifted to offer group sessions with 3 to 5 students in each group to support peer interaction and carryover of skills. And then just some benefits of our speech group. So It prepares students for a structured classroom setting. Sometimes these students come to us from early on, and so sometimes they start with us before they're even 3. So just exposing them to more of like a structured routine, exposure to a variety of preschool themed vocabulary, and it's also been great for peer models.
It's also been really neat to see this year just some friendships start to develop. So a lot of the students that we see aren't yet in a preschool program. And so this is really their first introduction to making friends. And we pick up our students in the office and they get so excited when their other friends show up, and they notice when their friends are gone. So it's just been really neat to see those friendships start to take place. We're practicing a lot of turn taking during our sessions, so waiting our turn. That's something that our students will need throughout their educational career. And then these speech groups just really offer our students the opportunity to practice skills in a more natural environment. And so within our sessions, we do a weekly theme, and we try to line it up with either the time of the year, what our other preschoolers in our buildings are learning, some things that are really relevant to our students. So some examples of themes that we've done this year have been winter sports. We lined that up with the Olympics, which was really fun. We did going on a bear hunt, colors, and then most recently we did a bug theme, which was just exciting to hear all the things the students had to share with us about the bugs that they're seeing in their environment. And so we follow a really pretty structured schedule. So each week our students know what to expect when they're coming to us. So we start with a gross motor activity just to get our students up and moving and their bodies regulated to learn. So sometimes that might be an obstacle course or like a sorting activity where they're picking things up off the ground and sorting them. And then we'll move into a book, and that's a great opportunity to practice just like a sustained attention activity as well. And then we'll do a couple of different table activities. So that might be a craft that they can take home that has their different targets on it. Might be a game. We've done science experiments, which are always really exciting. And then we might play with a toy that fits along with our team or with our theme. And then at the end of every session, we have the opportunity to communicate with caregivers. So a couple times a month, we'll try to have a handout so that parents know what we've been working on and have some ideas for how to target their students' skills at home. But we always have that opportunity to touch base with our parents to talk about things that were helpful in the session and how we elicited different sounds or whatever skill it is that we're working on. And so within our theme, our students' goals are targeted throughout each activity. And so this offers us a really nice opportunity to practice different contextual words, so they're not just practicing random words that don't have meaning to them, but they fit along with our theme, and they're really meaningful for our students. And within the different activities, we want to support that generalization, so they're not just practicing in an isolated activity, but they're able to practice with a lot of different variety, and that supports their generalization of skills at home too. All right.
So there we go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have some questions. Always got questions.
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe Raj can help me with this one. So, Julie, you mentioned center-based programs have closed. Is that, can I share?
Partially, what's happened is some of the programming they have sent back to the home districts, yes, at the early age.
Is that when the contract with Grand Rapids
A little bit.
changed?
Yeah, there's some things that changed.
Okay, all right. Speech. I got some for you guys too. So, for speech, and how are you measuring the growth as they progress from that? I mean, are you seeing significant versus, okay, some of them start out slower? Can you give a quick overview of just the growth that you're seeing with your sessions with them?
Yeah, so we're measuring our students' IEP goals. So that's our main measure of growth, is just to see that they're making progress toward those IEP goals. So whether that's an articulation goal or a language goal, but kind of informally, we've seen a lot of growth in just their ability to take turns and wait and to participate in a lot of different structured activities. So that's really been kind of our big focus this year, is to help our students be prepared for that next step. A lot of our students will be going to preschool next year, and so we've seen some great growth there as well.
Got it.
How many students do you have that come in that need special attention or help?
For our street speech groups?
For itinerant students, we have about 40 itinerant
Wow.
speech students. So Lisa and I split the students up, and typically it's both of us running the speech group. So yeah, it's been really nice.
So, I was a parent seeking your services 35 years ago, Kennesaw. And I've mentioned this to Heather and John a couple months ago. One of the things that I appreciated, especially you've got very young children that you're working with, right? And at that whole engagement with a parent who is going to look at you with glassy eyes or a complete lost look because you're seeing things that they probably see but can't interpret, right? You've got the knowledge, they've got to learn. Have you ever brainstormed or considered generating possibly a parent group situation where they come in and kind of sit around the table, talk about their common challenges and camaraderie? You guys ever think of that? Have you thought about it? Has anyone ever presented it to you?
Yeah, and we've done some form of that. I mean, not exactly, but we have done like a group where our parents come in during the session, and so they all get to join in together, and so they're seeing exactly like what we're working on and able to then bring that home and have some more ideas to work on, and then they can talk amongst each other and yeah, find some support that way as well. Were you going to add to that question?
I was just going to add,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to add, so for our early childhood special education classrooms, we do have like family fun nights where we invite our families, and that's a great opportunity. It's not like official, however, like it does allow our families to come to a place where there's students who are similar to their own child, and we see a lot of families like chatting and connecting, making those connections with each other, which has been really fun. We have a couple friends in my classroom where in the summer, like they go camping together and they go swimming together, and their families are friends now. So I think that's a great point though, to make something more official possibly. But and we also did a field trip to Rock the Spectrum and invited our families. And so that was another great opportunity for our families to come together, and we saw a lot of them like chatting and like just making those connections and like being able to talk about maybe those struggles they're having and making them feel like they're not alone. So
It kind of helps, you know, you almost create a buddy system if you can, because they're a lot of them are lost. I mean, you see that, you probably look in their eyes and you see it. So having that ability to create those connections is always very strong for them. The other thing I had, and could be Julie too, when you saw the rise in just even ASD, potential ASD, did COVID have anything to do with that change? Was that a factor, do you think? That you saw an uptick at that time? Just wondering.
Yeah, I don't know as if I've given that any thought or if there's any correlation to that.
Okay.
So,
Just wondering. COVID did so much from a stress out a lot of parents, right?
very much so.
I mean, stress out everybody, but during that, especially for a young child. So, yeah. Well, thank you very much. I appreciated the knowledge you gave me, so thank you.
Can I ask, with GSRP, do these programs intermix? Like, do we have GSRP available also then for our students in inclusion?
Yeah, so in our 1755.
Yes, so our 1755 program, we have that structured formal program for our 4-year-olds. So if a student is 4 and they qualify for that program, then they can go to inclusion. But for our 3-year-olds and for some of our students who need that extra support in ECSE, that's where they can go to that Little Dogs inclusion and participate in that there.
Yeah, because I do know that with GSRP, they have education nights for the parents that are built into that structure, which is really nice. And it is almost like a links program for little, right, for families and the littles, which I think is a great idea too. Yep.
Having had several of my littles go through your program, I know the benefits of them having interactions with all types of their peers And I know that you're laying such an important foundation for the whole tenor of what school and friends and peers can be for all students, regardless of whether there's an impairment or not. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Appreciate
Nice
it.
job, guys.
All right, next up, we were to have the high school saxophone quartet honor. They are not here right now because they are a busy group, running around from one thing to the next. So we're going to be a little flexible if there's no objection and allow them to present when they get here. So on to the next item, there's a consent action agenda. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Support.
All those in favor? Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. On to the regular action agenda. 4A, the approval of the superintendent Philo's contract for the 2026-2027 school year. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the contract for Superintendent John Philo for the 2026-2027 school year. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Support.
All right, discussion. So I sent you guys all the information, the contracts, a bunch more information on some comparable districts and so forth, and the numbers, how we got there, just the comparison. So, if you guys have any questions on that.
I just want to say, very nice job, Jace. This was a long process, probably longer than we've ever done in that piece of it, the contract piece. But working up the roadmap, modifying that, everything else that you did, nice work.
Yeah. Any other questions, discussion? All right. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. On to 4B, the secondary curriculum director addition to Adam Langto, high school principal. It is recommended the Board of Education approve Adam Langto as the new secondary director in combination with his high school principal duties. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
So as you know, I provided you a summary in the board update regarding this and what we're trying to accomplish. We have many curriculum goals ahead of us, a lot of work, guaranteed and viable curriculum, identifying what's essential with that for kids to know and be able to do at each grade level, the articulation between grade levels, between levels in general with elementary, intermediate, middle school, high school, and our professional learning community work, which really is a vehicle along with MTSS that drives that work. And it just makes sense to us, to have Adam Langto really guide that secondary work. He's been guiding that at the high school for some time and doing a marvelous job with it. And he has been actually coaching a lot of our other principals in the things that the high school does. It'll be great to help us with the articulation particularly between middle school and high school, because I think there's a lot of things that it's going to be important that over time that vertical alignment, that vertical articulation is there. And it's somebody that can work with, as an example, work with Ken C at that middle school, and really help to make sure that middle school, high school flow is happening the way we would like it to be. At the same time, it gives Dr. Merkel a chance to really, we're a little different than normally, and I said that when I came here. I'm used to elementaries, with guaranteed and viable curriculum and so on, really being kind of leaders and being able to do that. But our high school, through professional learning communities, has really guided that work in this district. I know for my past 11 years and then beyond that when Chris Vanderslice was at that high school. So there's been a lot of work pieces with that. But our staff has, for the most part, flipped over, right? We have a lot of the people that went through that work that have retired, and we have a lot of younger people that have come in. So it's important that we get back to really focusing on that. Adam provides those skills. He provides that leadership. His wheelhouse is really, he's a very strong curriculum person. he's just the perfect fit to do that. At the same time, what that's going to allow by him remaining as a high school principal and having that, that curriculum director work from the secondary level, we have very seasoned assistant principals at our high school that now can take on some responsibilities, still with his guidance, but take on responsibilities to help their expertise grow more. If they're ever going to be a principal themselves someday, it's going to be important that they take on some of that additional work. So I think it really is a huge benefit there as well.
It'd be nice to have, like, on the, like, weeknight type things, like, let some of those assistant principals take those on so that he doesn't have to be at all of those events.
And do some of that piece. You may recall there was a time when Chris Vanderslice was here, we had moved him to the secondary curriculum role here. And when he passed, instead of replacing that, we knew we had a lot of work at that time with MTSS, so we hired Jason Glarum to take that role on, and he's done a marvelous job. Now we believe, as we look to the future, it's going to be important to have some of that shift back and have more of that secondary person. I know my friend Dr. Merkel there is not going to be here forever. I know Jason Glarum's not going to be here forever. So it's important that we really begin to have some of those roles. And like I said, especially now when it's, the work is a heavy lift for everyone across their district from a curriculum's perspective right now. So, any questions?
All I hear is that Adam didn't have enough to do, so I don't know what he's been doing last
Trust
couple
me,
years.
he had plenty to do.
But I think it's great. I mean, it's great. It's one of the things we've talked about here more recently is how do we build from within, how do we continue to develop, and it's great that you've got a team, that understands their role, understands that it's got that capacity to take on more and continue to grow themselves. So I think it's a great thing. It makes sense, all the sense in the world to continue moving down a path like this.
And I guess I'm just gonna, again, tie with Jason. Kind of weird, I keep doing it all of a sudden. I mean, you look at the caliber of our administrators, and you have a legacy, and the legacy is your administrators, from my perspective. That's your greatest legacy. We have quite the farm. And giving that opportunity and breaking it apart a bit and helping them grow. Again, the biggest, I mean, when I'm around even the ISD and I see people that used to be administrators here then left because the administration didn't see that growth in them. And you've really made that a key part of your administration. The district is better off for it, so thank you for that. And this is, to me, it's great because now you have 3 assistant principals that can hone their craft with mentoring and guidance. The whole district's going to benefit.
I'm excited to see, the roadmap for what you're hoping to do. It's going to be a good move.
Any other questions, comments, discussion? All right. All those in favor? Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right. Do we have our crew here? Let's bring in the
All right.
high school saxophone quartet. Little intermission.
Maybe we should set it up on a regular
Yeah.
basis. We can just have
Have to-
someone come
We should have
Yeah.
some tea and cookies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Flash the lights when they're ready.
I think Jason and, did you guys decide over that, on that side?
That's fine. That's perfect. Yeah.
Or they can, I'm out.
That's fine. Whatever. Yeah, that's fine.
Could just have.
Thank you, ladies.
Time.
Have a good night.
Yeah. Like when he was, I learned his vocabulary words.
Minutes consistent.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
I didn't know about busking, so he played at the art shop.
That's all we have right there.
Just playing music on the street. It's like, that's kind of, it's more than he was making his job. I mean, okay.
Because you got the minutes. Yeah, John. We got
So they were practicing at Grandville.
With Dr. Grazier. That's who it is.
Thank you. Thank you to the school board and administration for the invitation for these students to perform at tonight's meeting. The path to this honor has taken shape for the majority of the school year, with weeks of preparation ahead of their district solo ensemble performance in February at Wyoming High School. They earned all A+ in every category, earning them a Division I superior rating that qualified them for states that they performed at the following month at Portage Northern. At the state level, there's sites all over Michigan with numerous judges that listen from anywhere to 30 to 40 events within a single day. Each judge is allowed to select only a few events out of their entire day that they feel are among the best. So our sax quartet was included in an overall list of just 50 ensembles from all of those sites across the state. So they were invited to compete in the next round of the competition. They had to submit a recording of the piece that they wished to perform, and they had a panel of judges evaluate it. Shortly after spring break, the state office called me to inform us that we were selected for one of only 4 slots allotted for the concert. This is the MSBOA Spring Honors Concert that they will perform at this Friday at Oakland University, featuring the best performers in the state. Along with our sax quartet, the other groups included a violin duet, a clarinet choir, and percussion ensemble. It's truly an honor for these students to be recognized as some of the top musicians the state of Michigan has to offer. What you're about to hear has largely been prepared over many weekend rehearsals, Sunday nights, and coaching themselves while working together collaboratively. I'll be honest, I maybe heard them play a couple times, otherwise they were self-taught on this piece that you're about to hear. The reason why they were late this evening is they were receiving coaching from Dr. Dan Grazer, the professor of saxophone at Grand Valley State University. So helping them with some final tips. We thank the support of the board and administration, especially our community, for the decades of support that allow our students continued success in the program and providing them opportunities such as this to be the best our state has to offer. It's something that we don't take for granted in our program. The sax quartet tonight that you see includes Louis Gardine on soprano saxophone, senior Kevin Wood on alto saxophone, junior Noah Hamilton on tenor saxophone, and senior Claire Crabb on baritone saxophone. They will play 2 movements from Level Up, a piece which is a video game-inspired journey by a Michigan composer, Chris Evan Haas, one of our own. The first movement they will play is Moonlit Village, which is actually more comforting and the calmness of a sleepy village at night during a pause in the heat of a quest. The second movement, Final Boss, will continue the adventure with intensity and the thrill of encountering the final adversary between the player and victory. We hope you enjoy, and thank you again for the invitation.
Great job, gang. Holy cow. Come on over, come on over, come on over. Come on. Come on over here, come on over, come on over, Kevin, Claire, come on. All right, so first off, you're hired. Only except one song every meeting, all right? You don't have to do two, just one, all right?
Yeah, wow. I mean, that's just unbelievable. I have so much respect for musicians. A lot of it because I can't carry a tune in a fight. So I appreciate what you do, and that was just beautiful. You filled this room, it's usually filled with guys like me chattering, with beautiful music, so nice job.
Wow. That was incredible. And Claire, what else can you do? That's fantastic. You know, and I bet all you guys are overachievers. There's no doubt in my mind.
I went to Hope College, and I have not heard that excellent level of playing since I was there. That was amazing, you guys.
Yeah, simply priceless. You guys are just, you're amazing humans and you're amazing musicians.
So I'm curious, how many hours a week are you guys practicing, you know, individually and then together?
We probably meet once a week.
Really?
For
how long?
Well, we started back in probably December, November, and then we had our first contest in February.
Okay. Like for an hour do you guys meet, or a couple hours?
Usually
Or
an hour, hour and a half.
Okay.
Every weekend, every Sunday, and we do seminar too in school. So,
Yeah. Gotcha.
There is a lot of individual practicing going on in your homes as well.
Yeah.
Contest to one of them at least.
Yeah.
How would you know that?
Yeah.
So how many hours do you practice, Lewis?
Oh, it depends. I have so much just music in general. I think we all have so much that it's we're spread pretty far.
And a couple of them got invited to the Jazz Honor Band, and so they have extra practicing for that. You have these two on the end.
So I'm just curious, how many hours do you think you put in a week?
Oh, practicing?
Yeah.
More than I work. 20,
Wow.
20 something.
Well, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life, right? So there you go. There you go. So, that,
2 to 2.5 hours a day.
well, it's just, it was gorgeous. I mean, I love the balance of all the different instruments and the different tones, right? And I have a special place in my heart for the baritone. So nice. I had a little peanut that played it too, so I get it. Yeah, it's a great job, guys.
Claire, so Claire had asked if she could, did you want to say something? She had asked if she could
I just
speak
wanted to say something to the board, but I don't know if she can actually talk. Can you read it, or do you want me to help you? Oh, I don't think I can. Her body is kind of ticked off at her doing so much, so I told her I'd read it for her. She can also chime in at any time. I just want to add too that Claire's also in the Grand Rapids Youth Symphony for the bass.
That's awesome.
So as parents, we're grateful that she can do band and orchestra. So that's a pretty big deal. So good evening, members of the board, Superintendent Barrett, and the Grandville community. My name is Claire. And I'm honored to be here tonight, not just to share music with you, but to share a few words of gratitude for the district that has helped raise me. God, no, I don't want to get this. I
can try.
Okay, you can try.
My turn. I turn in. I just.
Okay.
You want to start?
Yeah, Grandville Public Schools began 13 years ago, actually a little bit before that because Miss Heidi was her preschool teacher. In Miss Krasmersky's kindergarten classroom at Grandville. It's a full circle moment I never could have imagined that I'm finishing my senior year back in that very same room, serving as her teacher assistant as a member of KCTC's Teacher Academy. And as her mom, I'm just going to say that she just earned a $3,000 scholarship from LMCU for there were 4 kids that were chosen after an essay and an interview. And yeah, I'll just add that because she won't. My years at Grandview were foundational. I want to thank teachers like Ms. Hexel, Ms. Gall, Ms. Turnwald. You didn't just teach me curriculum, you helped shape my character. Whether it's leading in student council, introducing the buddy bench to our playground, the adventures of 5th grade camp, or the hands-on discovery in science lab, GPS gave me the space to thrive early on. At Grandville Middle School, I was encouraged to step out of my comfort zone. I tried everything from basketball, volleyball, to track and cross country. But more importantly, I found a support system. In all honesty, 7th grade was a real rough year for me, which was right in the 6th grade is when we shut down for COVID, and 7th grade was that first year back. I went from a bubbly, eager student to a dull and hopeless one. I wanted to give up, and I thought nobody noticed me until someone did. One of my teachers, Mr. Carlberg, checked in on me after class. He noticed my shift in tone and went out of his way to talk to me. And Ms. Reeder noticed I wasn't okay after a daily post-it mental health check. Their intuition and decision to reach out to my parents ensured I got the help I needed at a critical time. I am here today, healthy and successful because this district cares about the student and not just the grade. These last 4 years at the high school have been a whirlwind of opportunities. I've had the privilege of playing bass in our top orchestra while simultaneously playing saxophone in one of the best band programs in the state. Grandville is very involved in their art programs, and their passion towards it allows students like me to explore their interests. The theater department became my second home, performing in 12 consecutive productions, becoming the first girl in Grandville history to do so. It's been the honor of my life and has opened doors to several acting scholarships for my future. Beyond the stage, I've been challenged by AP classes, 4 years of student council, and 2 years on the SIT team, and felt the incredible support of my peers as a 3-year top dog and this year's homecoming queen. This school and district has so many opportunities, and they will do everything in their power to make a student have the best school experience. I was fortunate enough to squeeze more than the day had time. I'm sorry, maybe I wrote that wrong. I was fortunate enough to squeeze in more classes than the day has time for. I go to band and orchestra every other day, and the school is okay with it. Having an extra class period allows me to take classes like Wood Tech and KCTC. GPS doesn't just hire anyone. They make sure employees meet the expectations that they strive for. From parapros to librarians to lunch staff, each person here makes Grandville a home. I'm always greeted with a smile and my name. It's an amazing feeling to be noticed and seen. Just a simple smile lightens up my day. GPS staff makes it a mission to create a safe place for students. Through the Teacher Academy at KCTC, GPS has even helped me potentially find my professional calling. I'm guessing that's as a teacher? Potentially. Because I used to teach at Grandville, and my kids never wanted to be a teacher. They would be like me. Okay. So I realized that I'm a product of a community that invests in its kids. Thank you for the scholarships, the stages, the instruments, and most of all for the teachers who saw me, heard me, and cheered for me. Once a Bulldog, always a Bulldog. She'd like to especially thank Mr. Highmore, Ms. Gardine, and Ms. Van Neck for showing up for all the students. She saw you at concerts, plays, and sporting events in the community. And she wants to thank all of you for putting the students first.
It's our pleasure.
And thank you guys for helping raise us.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
All of
Just
you guys
fantastic.
are what make anything we do here worth it.
You're the
and
best
then
part
some.
of this
Oh my
entire
gosh,
job.
totally.
Listening
The
to
very
all
best.
the crazy, great things. And
Yeah.
I just want to say, Ross, thank you. Like,
Yeah.
you put in more hours than
Gosh.
seems humanly possible.
Yeah.
It really, our band program, I have always, my mom was a music teacher, so I knew and I watched and I saw all of those things. but I was in this little tiny country program, right? The things that you can accomplish with the talent and beauty of these students, and they can be talented and not achieve that, you guys bring it out of them. Like, it is just an honor to have our kids in this program, so thank you. Yeah.
Chicago was a triumph.
Come on, Noah.
I also want to thank Mr. Huber. He has been like the biggest help, because I'm also in the teacher academy, and I want to be a music teacher.
Awesome.
And literally today, after I took my AP test, he had me go to the band room for 30 minutes to teach me how to conduct.
Oh,
He took his own time to do that, and he does that for any student. I think the band teachers and just all the teachers we have, like Claire said, just put the students first, and I think it's beautiful.
Thank you.
You're worth it.
You guys made our day.
Mm-hmm.
Really did. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you again, guys. Thank you again. Great job. All right, on to 4C. NWEA MAP Growth Assessment 3-year agreement is recommended the Board of Education approve the purchase of 3-year license agreement for the MAP Growth Assessment from NWEA for a total cost of $149,526. This agreement provides the opportunity to lock in license increases over the next 3 years, license increases, okay, over the next 3 years, and is paid annually over 3 years. The MAP Growth Assessment is an improved benchmark assessment in reading and math meeting state assessment requirements. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Discussion.
Sure. Dr. Merkel, you have a tough act to follow, but
What's an assessment, everybody?
Where's the saxophone?
Yeah.
If you sing it, it might be more entertaining.
Get you out of here.
A little scat.
So we've been doing the NWEA MAP growth for over 20 years now. This is nothing new. PA 48, as I mentioned in the background, is required. K8. Twice a year. We give it 3 times a year as a benchmark. You'll notice the funding source is noted as various because it's an annual update. So there is a benchmark assessment grant by the state of Michigan that annually covers this. They just never guarantee how long they'll approve it. So it was approved for next year. It was approved for this year. We had enough to fully cover this cost for last year, and it's something we just apply for annually if it's in the approved budget. So you'll notice the total price, $149,526, is the 3-year. We'll pay annually. As expected, they're increasing the price, so this just allowed us to lock in some lower pricing over 3 years. We don't expect PA 48 to go away, and we've used MAP for so long. Our teachers are comfortable with it, our admin are comfortable with it as part of our MTSS process. So if we were ever to change, that would be something that would be very, very cautious and intentional about if that did happen. So we like it, works for us, we use it a lot.
Any changes with it coming up, or improvements, updates, anything like that?
Well, they great question, Sally. They change. They're always changing the norms. So they did just release 2025 norms that were normed off the COVID impact, so there's changes to that. And they changed 2 years ago. They changed how the adaptiveness of the test runs to give more of a grade level scope for students. I'm excited. The one report change I'm excited for next year is everything runs on a norm. You guys know this because we talk about it every year. I'm excited to see what our spring testing shows, and we'll give a report in June, probably second week of June for that. But next year they're going to put out reports for the first time that not only have a national norm, but also try to reference directly to grade level standards as well.
Oh, good.
So we'll be able to expand the conversation, do just a little bit more with our data that is very specific to standards, which, as Roger said earlier, is all part of our PLC work.
How were these administered 20 years ago? Do we know how these were administered?
Yes, I did it. As Roger said, I'm old.
You look so young.
And we had computer labs.
They did them still computer.
It was still computer-based.
Just not adjustment
It was
based.
one of the first computer-based assessments.
Okay.
But back then, they were still computer adaptive.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. And a lot of times kids would I remember young kids, because it's adaptive, some kids are done quicker than others. And kids don't realize that the longer you go, that's actually a good thing. And I just remember being in a computer lab with a kid in an elementary, and he just started crying. And it's like, what's the matter? He goes, I'm the only one not done. I'm like, that's a good thing. That's good. I said, just keep going. He's like, okay. So yeah, just helping kids even understand it's
I haven't thought about that
adaptive.
in years, but I can picture the old computer lab in the middle school, right? And we used to sign it out and go in by class and set up. And
Well, interesting that this is one of the tests that have remained like similar in format as well, right? So that's interesting.
They've done a nice job. NWEA was just bought out by HMH, which makes me a little nervous.
Yeah, that's a little
taken over.
Questionable.
But they've
it's going to get more expensive.
Great.
They've done a nice job keeping up.
It's
And
been
the longevity of which we found it effective and beneficial, and it kind of speaks to that.
Yeah, it's been the best assessment over the years. When we used to have what we called just an autopsy in the state, assessment, which, that was the end of everything. And then, by the time you actually got that data back, it was meant to say, okay, here's the ending, here's the culmination. But we needed stuff that we could use throughout the year and that we could really dig down in, and MAP was really that
And
first
teachers
thing that
trusted
did
that. They have for years.
Well, if it's a 20-year-old process too, then it's very nice because you can really benchmark
Right.
decades now, right?
It's so
That's
nice that the
nice.
state still continues. We'll continue to cross our fingers that they include that benchmark grant for us.
Yeah, okay.
Do you anticipate as the dyslexia screening laws come into play, sort of with that, and then with this, that you might see I know you can use other assessments at the state level for this, but I'm wondering if they're gonna look overall and say, okay, how much are we actually assessing kids, and are we sort of making requirements that duplicate our...
Too much assessment?
Yeah, I'm wondering if you've heard anything coming from MDE that they might be looking to streamline things a little bit more.
No, right now, my honest, please pause the recording, my honest assessment of that is MDE is having 12 different separate conversations and around all of these things right now, and they're completely disconnected.
Okay,
The one thing that is happening is you are seeing the publishing companies of the assessments that are now linked. So NWEA has a dyslexia screener called
okay. It's their reading fluency.
MAP Reading Fluency, which we piloted 2 years ago because our thinking was all this new stuff came out. What would it look like if we had a consistent system?
It's kind of glitchy. It's not very good.
It was not good, and I had such high hopes.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens as those
Okay.
things
Well,
develop.
hopefully they'll start talking to each other.
Yeah. It's very question.
Great. Any other questions, discussion? All right, let's take a roll call vote.
Campbell.
Yes.
Benek, yes. Jehan.
Yes.
Stefas.
Yes.
Wondertem.
Yes.
Hybor.
Yes.
Gardine.
Yes.
Fantastic, motion passes. That brings us to the end. Any public comment? No public comment at this point. Great. All right, the next regular meeting of the Grandville Board of Education will be Monday, May 18th, 2026 at 7 p.m. at the Administration Building. Happy Cinco de Mayo. We are adjourned.